Hi, baby. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Actually, should we be talking to each other like that?
Of course.
I think that's okay to do. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. Do I get to call you babe on the podcast?
Oh, you mean like that? I thought
Like-
you meant like welcome to the show.
No, like, hey, babe, you know? Because, like, I'm having a conversation with you. I think if we had guests on, then I would be more like Nick. No, I probably wouldn't either. That's weird. So what's up? What's going on? This is our first time talking for the day.
All day.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
This is going to be our first, maybe our second conversation. We got to have one conversation during coffee this morning, kind of.
Yep.
And here we are.
That's how it is, I think. A lot of people,
Relatable.
very relatable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like the bedtime is very key for a lot of people because it's the only time that you get really with your spouse.
Yeah, before 9:30.
Yeah.
Because you need to go to sleep
And
early.
then you got 1 hour.
1 hour to do all the things.
What a crazy time in human life being parents to young kids.
Yeah, because it's going to pass so soon. But these nights with your spouse are also so very important. So you can't just be like, well, see you in 10 years. That's not good.
Some people do that.
I know. And probably not like on purpose. You just get used to being like sailing ships.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to do that.
I thought you said selling chips.
Nope. Not
And I
selling
was
chips.
like, who's selling chips?
The business couple, they're selling chips.
Definitely, and stacking them too.
Mm-hmm.
Stacking those chips.
Stacking them chips
You
up,
know
baby.
who was like that with their wife? Casey Neistat.
Oh, yeah?
I remember
How do you know
watching
that? Are you
his-
friends?
No.
I mean, you look alike.
Yes, we do. I don't know what his face looks like. I don't know how to do
I
it.
can't picture it.
We need the glasses.
Yeah.
But he was, I remember watching his vlogs
Yeah,
years ago and thinking like, dang, because he was making like daily vlogs was
That's
the whole
right.
thing.
that's right.
And he would like make them that day and like upload them that night.
How did
And-
he even edit them? I don't understand.
Well, that was what was so crazy. And that's like what everybody loved about it too.
Yeah.
But then after a while, like not too long after I started watching his stuff, because I came onto his stuff late, he like stopped doing it. And I think it was a year later, I was watching him give an interview and he was saying, I didn't even know my wife. There just wasn't enough hours in the day. He's like, how is this guy doing this? He's like barely doing it. And that's like all he's doing. And I think he posted on Twitter, like, it turns out Candace is pretty cool. That was his wife's name. It's like, it turns
Aw.
out Candace is pretty cool and fun to be around. And he was like, I
Aw.
actually meant that. Like, I didn't even know really her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know, did he say how long they'd been married?
I don't know. I think they were married for a while though. Good while. Years.
Mm. Yeah.
They have a daughter together, or maybe 2, I think. Younger, but like 4 or 5.
Yeah. What a big warning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just like watching that happen to him.
Yeah.
And that happens to people who are not even creating content online. It's just but he's doing something as a job, and anybody who's doing something as a job still gets to come home and you don't. We should talk about that in a future episode, actually. Just
Mhm.
how to keep dating your spouse without having to go and date your spouse, if that makes sense.
What do you mean by that last part?
Well, just without feeling like you have to go on these like elaborate dates.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But we'll save that for a different episode.
Mhm.
I think that would be a really good one.
Mhm.
Because I think
Yeah.
we have insight on this as professional failures of date nights.
We've been reading the Bible in a year.
Let's go.
I'm like 4 days behind.
I'm 7 days behind. I'm still on chapter 19.
The Bible in here is, I'll say it, it's a little too much for my personal.
It's fast paced.
Yeah, it's too fast for me. So I'm not mad that I'm behind. Like,
Oh, me either.
I'm going to keep doing it, but it's probably going to turn into Bible in 2 years maybe.
When I first did it, it took me 3 years.
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier, and I think it's because like I see the benefit to reading the whole Bible
Yeah.
in a year, like especially just like the consistency of it, and reading the whole Bible cover to cover obviously is a good thing. But trying to do it in a year, I think, doesn't allow me in this stage of life to go deeper on things, which I think is what I'm more akin to want to do. So it's good to get the whole meta narrative from beginning to end, but it doesn't necessarily give me the time to dive deeper on stuff and spend extra time figuring out what does that mean, where is that referenced, and
Yeah.
what are some other meanings that this could have, that sort of thing. It's just kind of like reading it through.
Yeah, you spend 3 days on Genesis 6 and the app's like, you're supposed to be on Genesis 40 by now.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Mm.
Sorry about
And I'm
it.
in it with a group of guys too, so
Well, I'm in it with
There's
the
pressure.
group of those guys, their wives.
yeah.
So it's like guys against girls, it feels like.
Guys and wives.
The guys and the wives.
The wives will probably win, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been reading that.
What are you at?
Came across Jacob wrestling with God. Genesis 32. Yep. Verse 22. And,
What stood out to you about it?
it's just crazy. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
he wrestled with God all night long. And God obviously could have crushed him.
But he didn't.
But he didn't.
Interesting.
And I was like, all he did was touch his hip socket and it came out of place.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he had to do, but he wrestled with him all night long.
Yeah.
So it's like, duh, he could smush him if he wanted to. All he had to do was touch his hip socket.
Yeah.
It was just like, why,
I like the part where it mentions that they were wrestling all throughout the night, and then the man, Jesus, is like, hey man, like, let me go. We're at day's break. But I think that the whole wrestling through the night like that is more so God wanting to take Jacob to a place of complete stop this self-reliance you have. Like, you're not like, we're not, stop it already. I think there's a lot to that there.
Right.
With that, just because of what he'd already been such a cheater and a liar and a thief. And so, like, to get to that point where God's like, okay, like, you got to drop this whole super self-reliant act.
Well, and from the beginning, because he grabbed his brother's ankle.
Exactly.
So he's like, right from birth, he was like, trying to go super hard.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. Just spent a little bit of time thinking about that.
Yeah. That's great.
Very interesting stuff.
Very interesting stuff. Yes. I also like in that passage where the man is like, so what's your name? What is your name? And he's like kind of ashamed to like say Jacob, just because Jacob in Hebrew means something not positive. I forget what it is. I read it while reading the Bible, but I forgot exactly what it means. And he's like kind of embarrassed to say like, oh, my name's Jacob. Like, and then he changes his name and asks for this whole blessing and everything. So it's cool. It's a whole new leaf for Jacob/Israel. I have been reading through the Bible, and I was laughing this morning because I'm at the part where Rebekah is going to send Isaac away. I'm sorry, that's literally her husband. She's not sending her husband away. She's going to send Jacob away. So like a few chapters before this happens, she's going to send Jacob away to go find a wife. So she's like, go to my brother Laban. Because she's like, I am just so tired of these Canaanite women. And I just laughed out loud because all the women and ever are always there. We're just all the same sometimes. So it's funny because she's like complaining about these Canaanite women. And then a few chapters before that, Sarah's like laughing because she's like, oh, please, I'm not gonna have a baby. Like, just not being, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like not trusting at all. Like that something like that would ever happen to her. And so just seeing the personality of imperfect people, it's just funny, and it just felt relatable to be like, oh yeah, I felt like that. Like, oh, that's gonna drive me crazy. Stop it. Or just laughing about something that I'm like, nah, that's not what's gonna happen. Yeah. So I found a relatability listening, reading so far.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. That's good. Yeah. And these men are the same too.
Liars and cheaters.
Yeah. Especially the Mormons still trying to get multiple wives.
Yeah, why are they doing that? Yeah. Stop that. Oh my goodness. God did not it. Listen,
they're like, it's in the Bible.
This is something I want to say. I've never been able to say this publicly. Right? Just because something is in the Bible doesn't mean God approves.
Yeah.
Like, people use that. It's in the Bible. I'm like, okay. Did you read further and did you see how God condemned it? Like, just because it's in there, it's literally just showing us our wickedness. Come on, man.
They're like, how could you believe in a God that allowed people to marry multiple people?
Well, he said don't do it.
Yeah.
It's just showing you how people disobey.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, honey, now it is time for supper.
Time for supper. We got I put a lot of things on the.
You did? How come I only see one thing? That's the thing about sharing notes, is they don't sync at the time that I needed to, because all I see is lasagna.
Yeah, I got a few more. I'll go over them. Right. I'll take it from here.
Take it from here.
We had those banana overnight oats.
Those were so good. And if I may, those were from, so I like reading my emails.
Yeah.
I'm a girl who likes to read her newsletters.
I like reading emails.
Yeah.
Too.
And that one I got from a baby-led weaning newsletter that I'm a part of.
What? Baby food?
Yeah.
I mean, it was delicious.
It's like infant and toddler recipes. And every now and then I'll still open it, even though I'm not making those kinds of foods, because we don't have a 6-month-old right now.
But you got a 34-year-old.
But I got a 34-year-old I could feed. And so I was like, you know what? Overnight oats sounds really good for tomorrow. I'm going to make this one. And it was so yummy.
That's hilarious, actually.
I know, right? Chia seeds, bananas, oats, milk, yogurt, cinnamon. That's it.
Yeah.
It was super good. The ratios really of things for her recipe was really good.
Baby led weaning is good. It's
Can't
funny
wait to get
because
into it again.
yeah, it's funny because you go to like the baby showers and they do the game.
Yeah.
Like, eat the baby food.
Yeah. And I'm like, I haven't done this for any of my children.
Yeah. And people are like, imagine the baby led weaning version of that.
Hilarious. They're like, hurry up, eat this double finger with
apple
carrot.
Slice, this quarter grape.
Quartered grape.
You know
Like
what?
1-inch cube toast. They're like,
Honestly,
okay, practice your pincer grasp.
Yeah.
Hurry.
That would be good. You gotta like close all 3 fingers and just use like these ones.
Yeah.
They gotta like rubber band them together.
Mm-hmm.
We should do that
We
at the
should try
next
that.
baby shower.
Next baby shower.
We'll do it all the way that we do it.
This is not an announcement.
Cloth diapering, the cloth diaper game.
Yes, exactly. We have to knock the solids into the toilet.
Yeah.
Rinse your cloth diaper.
Spray it.
it.
We'll put like chocolate bar on it.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
be the first one to fully wash a cloth diaper and like hang to dry.
Hang in the sun so that it doesn't stain. The smoothie that we made that smoothie real good.
Oh yeah, that was I felt bad because you guys were out there sweating. And I'm like, man, I really got to make my father-in-law and my husband some lunch. And I thought they would appreciate a smoothie because we don't really have anything else. And then I was like, I'm not making it because we make better smoothies. So I had to wait for you to be like, can you make your own smoothie?
Yeah,
because I want one. I want it to be good. Yeah. But it was really good.
What did you put in it? I always do bananas. Better if they're frozen, but we didn't have. So I had to add ice. But that's fine.
It was still so good.
Yeah. Bananas, a few strawberries. There's like 2 or 3. A lot of peanut butter or almond butter. A lot of cinnamon.
I love it.
And dates if you got them.
But we didn't have
to
any.
Sweeten it up.
So did you just
omit it? And then I just added, I omitted it. And I added hemp seeds, chia seeds.
Do you do oats in that?
Well, you could if you want to make it a little bit more hearty.
But you didn't do
a little thicker, like if you're trying to get yourself to stay asleep throughout the night. Yeah, that's one of my fave smoothies. That's my go-to. You've
been making that smoothie since 2020.
Yeah.
2022.
It's still my favorite smoothie.
Yeah, I know where you learned it from, but I'm not going to say where.
Yeah, I've slightly adapted it.
You have. Yeah. You have. Yeah. I approve of your adaptation.
Thanks. And then milk, of course.
Of course.
Don't put water in that.
Don't put water in that. It's going to like, when the smoothie starts to break.
Yeah.
Don't do that. What's next?
The lasagna.
The lasagna.
Lasagna was great.
It was super good. And that's because our sweet little child, they were just begging for it.
And he was sick.
And he was like, I just want lasagna.
Yeah. Like, I was like, you are Italian.
You are. And I'm like, you have like a stomach thing, and he wants lasagna.
Red sauce.
And he wanted to cook it.
Acidic.
He's like, I want to make the lasagna.
Yeah, grease from the ground beef.
We're like, all right, 4-year-old. Almost 4-year-old in a few days.
Yeah.
But we had it.
Oil and vinegar salad. Great for his belly.
Great for his belly. No, he loved it.
Yep.
Actually, he didn't eat that much. No. Now that I'm remembering. But he loved that we got to have lasagna. He was like, yes, we're making lasagna. He probably had like 2 bites, and we're like, yeah, because your belly hurts.
The hack, I would say, that made that meal a little bit different was using a ninja chopper to grate the cheese up.
Instead of the shreds.
Instead of the shredder.
I really like the little swirly chops.
Yeah, it's like crumbles.
Yeah. Cheese crumbles. Yeah, I like that. And our daughter, when she was helping me like set it up, do all the layers, when we got to the last one, I was trying to scrape out something, and I turned around, and she was like smashing the cheese into the sauce and like swirling it around. I'm like, that looks really good, baby. You can stop now. Nice. So like there was like one section that was just like pink from the cheese and the sauce being mixed up, and the other part was all like just white. And I'm like, great, that one looks really good. And she with her hand, she was loving it. She was like painting. It was good. Enjoyed.
That's a great food for kids to help make, as long as you gotta just let go.
You gotta let go. Kids
it did not look get pretty. Messy.
Yeah, it wasn't even that messy. Yeah. Honestly, all it was just turning her towel into the sink and say, okay, wash your hands now. It was fine.
Yeah, we got a beef stew that we made with like those soup bones.
Yep,
that was super good. Then we took that leftover stew
broth
and added that to the rice that she made to make that chicken and rice. Is that what I did? Yeah, it was like the wetness for the chicken and rice.
That's true.
Which was good. I think that made that even better.
Yeah, and then you added a scramble to that.
And then I scrambled that. And then we took whatever was left over from those beef broth leftovers, because we still had some left over, and I used that today in the braised short ribs.
Yeah, because I strained it out.
Yeah. And then I got brownies on the menu.
The brownies that we get are pretty good.
These are the best brownies.
There's one left. You can just eat it on camera like that, actually. Thank you.
Yeah. Fudgy brownie. We talked about this.
We
We were
talked about
talking about
this.
not wanting cakey things, right?
Yeah, and those are definitely fudgy, not cakey, and it's like a gluten-free almond flour mix that I just like bought on a whim, and it's super clean ingredients, but it's really good. So now I'm like, great. I'm not gonna mess around with trying to find a brownie recipe. This is the one on my list to make because we have a play date this week with the girls from church, and it's yellow themed because we're having a birthday party for Mr. Son.
That's crazy.
And we are all to wear yellow and bring a yellow themed snack.
That sounds really fun though.
And so I was freaking out because I'm like, what am I going to bring? So I'm Pinteresting yellow snacks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know what to make. I don't know what to bring. So I come across candied lemon slices. I'm like, great. That looks fun. Like I'll get some lemons. I'll make whatever. Like I've never made it before, but it looks really good. I'm on the chat today and my friend's like, I'm bringing bananas. I'm like, that is so simple.
Bananas.
I'm like, I did not think about bananas. They are yellow.
Dang.
And then somebody else said, yeah, I'm just going to bring like yellow watermelon. I'm like,
yellow watermelon?
I'm over here trying to figure out.
That's kind of rare.
Yeah. She's getting them from the Amazon rainforest. I don't know where she's getting those
watermelon.
from. Apparently they're from Publix.
Can I come to this party?
I know. So yeah.
And you're gonna make candy lemon.
And I'm gonna
You could have just brought lemons.
I could have just brought lemon.
What if you did actually just bring lemons though? Nobody would eat them. You're like, I brought lemons.
I brought lemon for lemon water. That's yellow.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so today we're talking about vacations.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Like we both grew up with the idea of a vacation is something that you do once a year. It's like a big vacation that you take.
Mm-hmm.
But we're trying to think about that in a different way. We're trying to kind of sort through if vacation is something that you should just save up for once a year, and you have like you save up the anticipation, not necessarily the money, but like the anticipation of like this one big trip a year, or should taking this restful time with your family be on a cycle? Should it be more than once a year? How often? Or like what does that look like?
Right.
Yeah. So what are your initial thoughts on that?
I mean, I definitely lean more towards not having it once a year.
Yeah.
I would much rather, just for my own enjoyment, I would much rather have like a shorter break throughout the year versus like a 2 weeks off, you know, if we're thinking about like a traditional 9 to 5 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where you get your 2 weeks vacation.
Well, what is the advantage of having this 2 week once a year vacation, you think?
I don't know that it is an advantage. I feel like it's a disadvantage.
Well, but some people might really enjoy, like they might look forward to like their one thing that they get to do a year because
well, I'm sure people do, and I'm sure people do look forward to it and enjoy it when they have it. But I think that just sounds like so long to wait for to have time off, and then it feels like so much time off that you just kind of check out and like do whatever you want to do for those
2 weeks.
2 weeks and then like not want to come back, because it's like long enough that you kind of are like living a little bit of a different life for a little while, and then you got to go back to reality. I feel like it's like now I got to go back to reality sort of thing.
Oh yeah, people say that the once a year vacation is more so a hidden trap for escaping your life. Like people might lean towards feeling that way.
Yeah, I think it just kind of defaults to that because you're anticipating it for a long time, and then when you get it, it's like I want to pack this thing full and do all the things that I can't do normally in the year, and it's going to be extra ultra fun, and I wish I could live like this all the time.
Yeah.
And then you got to go back, and it's so hyped up, that like a detriment to your everyday life. You know what I mean?
Okay. So before we kind of taking short breaks on a cycle, let's talk to the people that are like, okay, that sounds like a very privileged place to be in, that you can just take these very frequent breaks throughout the year and go do something. I can't do that. I don't have money to save up. I don't have anywhere to go. Let's talk about that for a second. What do you think that would look like for the person that's like, well, I don't have money to just get on an airplane every 3 months and go travel somewhere? I
mean, who does?
Who does? First of all, who does?
Also, if you're taking that shorter trip, you're not going somewhere far for like 2 days,
So you're encouraging staycations.
Yeah. I'm encouraging a breakup, a shake up.
Yeah.
More often than once a year, long anticipated. Got to pack this thing full of all the stuff that we could do.
Get my bucket list out for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
You know what I found when I was Googling? home swapping for the weekend with your friends and having that be like a way where you can for free stay somewhere else. And I thought that was like the funnest idea.
The home swap is kind of crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I Googled it, and that's actually a thing that there's like a service. I'm pretty sure it's called Home Share, something like that. And you go on there, you list your home, and you're swapping for the weekend. And it reminded me of two things. Number one, the movie The Holiday.
Okay.
With Jack Black
mm-hmm.
and Cameron Diaz and
mm-hmm.
Kate Winslet and the other guy who I don't know his name. And they like swap houses. So like the women like swap lives essentially
mm-hmm.
for like the holiday season. So I thought about that movie. And then two, I thought about just Shabbat and like the Sabbath.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat and like doing Sabbath, and how from a worldly perspective that's not something that's taken into account.
Mm-hmm.
But from a biblical perspective, we understand that the Lord has made the Sabbath for man. And so that's something that I think we could also probably touch on too.
Yeah.
And tie that into these like more frequent breaks.
More frequent and shorter, because you're not taking like more frequent 2-week
exactly
breaks.
Yeah.
You're taking like more frequent, maybe 2-day
mm-hmm.
breaks.
Yeah.
3-day, or even just 1 day a week.
Right.
On the Shabbat.
Right.
What I thought about when you were talking about the home swap was that there used to be a show on like TLC that was like, I think it was like Home Swap, where they would do that, and they would swap homes, but then they would remodel the other person's house. There was so many crazy TV shows.
I would be so upset.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like a surprise though.
Oh, you knew that
you knew they were gonna swap houses, and then you would remodel, but like you would leave it up to your friend to remodel your house.
Oh no.
And sometimes they didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm sure plenty of times they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like,
and it was like the entire house, I believe. Yeah.
Yikes. That's
like
scary.
Week. Yeah.
Wow.
But the house swap thing that's interesting, because you don't have to, if you're in somebody else's house, you're not going to be trying to
do stuff while you're there.
Yeah, like your to-do list around the house.
Exactly.
And so that's what we liked about camping, was like there's just
you're not doing house projects.
Much other things to do, so you're like doing other stuff that is actually like restful.
Yeah.
Instead of having your mind be filled with like, oh, I want to do that or that or that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
And then you could just pay for if it's free, you're swapping with your friends,
right?
Then you just pay for like the house cleaning service at the end.
Pay for like exactly.
Right?
And that way you're not coming back to clean up after your friends.
Exactly.
But that's how you can treat. If you want to, that would obviously make it something that costs money to do. Right. But if you wanted to take it a step further, that would be a fun way to do it, where it's like, okay, I hire a cleaning service for you, I plan it, you hire one for mine, you plan it, we like swap it out, we enjoy the weekend, we come back and we're like, whoa, like I'm back home.
You got someone's house you want to stay at?
I would swap houses with mom right now.
I'd stay there.
Yeah, I'd stay there. Pool, freshly decorated. She's been doing a great job decorating.
Beautiful
home. Privacy.
Pool.
I said pool already, right? I think I did. Yeah.
You did say pool.
Privacy. Okay.
You're listening about P's.
Garage sales around. Sourdough things around, apparently. I would stay there.
That's
I would swap with mom.
Well, I'd come with you.
I hope so.
I would stay there too.
Yeah, I would stay at mom's.
The Sabbath. A built-in break.
Yeah. Something that we're probably not necessarily tied to, right? Like New Testament believers on this side of Jesus. Maybe it's not something that we are mandated to continue doing. I don't know where I land on that yet. But we have talked about like do we have to keep the Sabbath? I don't know. It's a commandment, and I don't know if it's only for the Israelites, if it applies to us. I haven't really figured out where I land on that. But I am thinking of just the fact that God said, like, listen, I made the Sabbath for man, not man for the Sabbath. So that kind of lets me know that it is important to go ahead and just take a break every now and then, and to just stop, to cease activity of what you're doing. And I was on godquestions.org, which is a really cool resource, because you literally just type the question you got and you will get a biblical response. So it's really fun to be able to.
They've got most questions on there.
Oh, yeah. So I was reading through a few of them, and there was a few answers that kind of painted up the picture of the Sabbath is important. Taking a break is important. You can avoid burnout by doing so. And then if you are in a season of burnout, then to kind of take a step back, because there's nothing spiritual about burning out for Jesus. And that really stood out to me. I was like, oh, because it's true. And then they referenced, I think it's Hosea 6, where he says, where the prophet is saying, from God. Like I desire mercy, not sacrifice. And talking about like I want your steadfast love and not your offerings. And so that's like a him saying like I don't want your work. I want your love. So like the relationship that we have with the Lord is more important than like all this burning out we're doing. And it stood out because was it the same day or the day before we were having a conversation and you said to me, I know you like to martyr yourself. So I'm telling you that it would be beneficial if you went and did X, Y, and Z. And so it stood out to me because I was like, that's true. There really is nothing spiritual or holier than thou when I put myself in these places of burnout because I'm trying to somehow be all and do all. And the Lord has called me to leadership within my children, like not leadership, but stewardship of my kids and being able to have that role. But He didn't call me to every single duty, every single task. But that's really hard for me to remember because I'll just want to do all the things. So yeah, thoughts.
Yeah, that's hard for me to remember too, that I don't have to do every little thing.
Yeah.
Every single thing, every single time. And I'm talking about on the parenting side and then also on the responsibility side outside of just stewarding the kids.
Yeah.
Because to tie it back to what we were talking about before with Casey Neistat, there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
And if you're doing one thing, it's taken away from another thing.
Yeah.
And so what do we want to be putting our hours towards? Like what's the most important thing here and what can we supplement in one way or another or remove altogether in order to spend our time doing the thing that's most important? And I'll just go down this little tangent before we bring it back to the
Sabbath
main topic. We were recently talking about like hiring a landscaping company to cut the grass because the grass is just something that like I can't.
Has gone out of your hands.
Yeah, it's just gotten out of my hands. Yeah. I'll cut it. I enjoy cutting it. I love doing it with the kids. I realize like I have my hand gripping so tight on I want to do all the things like we're doing the house projects around the house, washing the car, all these things that I want to do in addition to like working and being around the kids as often as I can and like cooking home meals as often as we can, which
gardening.
Is like every single meal.
Every single meal.
Gardening, all these new things. And so I realized like I can't hold all of these things without one or many of these things losing some of my time and attention. And so like what's the thing that I want to put that deserves the most of my time and attention? And so like sometimes we got to get some help for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Or we got to see what we can get rid of so it doesn't weigh on us and take us away from those other bits and pieces. So I hear you when you're talking about like wanting to do everything. And needing to do everything yourself and having that be a hard battle to fight. And it also reminds me that we just can't do it all ourselves.
We're not supposed to.
Which is why we need God.
Yeah.
That's reassuring to me because it's like when I question like how come I can't respond the way that I wanted to respond? How come I don't have all the capacity that I need to have in order to fully give the kids exactly what they need when they need it? I just can't. It's impossible. It's not me. It's just an impossible task to do all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why we need to lean on God because He is the perfect Father and He is the perfect role model and He gives us grace and mercy so that we can forgive ourselves because we've already been forgiven so that we can realize that hopefully and then regroup and operate in a way that's going to be beneficial to everybody. And I think with the Sabbath, regardless of whether or not it's like something that we need to keep, it's definitely beneficial to keep it. Yeah. Because, without it, like what ends up happening?
Humans would not stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And what also like, what's the point of the Sabbath? It's not to just
do nothing.
To do nothing. It's not to just like indulge. It's not to just go to brunch. You know what I mean? It's like, we should be spending that time like, honoring God.
Yeah.
And shaking up our routine a little bit in a way that refreshes us, not in a way that
burdens us
or drains us out more. And I'm thinking particularly like some of those things maybe the things that seem fun to like a younger version of myself and seem restful, but actually end up afterwards not being restorative,
Yeah.
just being things that slow me down and don't actually build me back up and not give me a true Sabbath, I would say.
Yeah.
Those things being like drinking.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking like you go to on the weekends,
Okay.
it's like after work's over, 5-day week. It's the weekend. Want to hang out, want to have fun, want to go to the beach,
Yeah.
want to have some drinks.
You're taking it way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not even, well, yeah. I mean, I've been a dad for
3 years.
4.
4 years. Yeah. So yeah, that's not something that you've done in a long time as far as like a refreshing. I was actually going to say, ironically, up until very soon, up until very recent ago, cutting the grass was something that you would do on the Sabbath. So it's interesting that now you're at a point where you're like, actually, this is it. Now it's a burden because now I'm having to choose between spending time with you guys and doing something that I could outsource, and it does not make me a bad husband or dad because I outsource this thing. Because something that you've said a lot is, what kind of dad do I want to be? Like, do I want to be the dad that does the things and teaches my kids how to do the thing, or do I want to be the dad that outsources everything? And so I think that maybe you might have been carrying the burden of cutting the grass, even though it's like slipping out of your hands, for the sake of not wanting to be the dad that just outsources everything. I don't know if I'm diagnosing you right.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Definitely. Yeah. I try to make decisions sometimes based on like, what type of dad do I want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm already changing the oil in the car, already washing it, doing these house projects.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
doing the gardening, the landscaping, all that stuff. But the brunch drinking example isn't necessarily about me. I'm thinking about the people that are
taking a break on the weekends,
that are in the worldly perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, that are living secularly. And that's the common way that people tend to operate on the weekends when they're done with work. Okay, so like, yeah, I'm taking a break. I'm having a Sabbath, if that's what you want to call it.
Right.
But is that stuff truly
restorative? Probably not. Is it life-giving? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because then you still, at the end of the day, probably feel really, really drained. I'm thinking more restorative stuff, things that would be life-giving, reading a book, literally just sitting outside, not doing the laundry, things like that, like just the ceasing of the ordinary work. And maybe if I'm at a point where during quiet time, I'm always reading a book, then maybe it might not feel like a shakeup of what I'm doing every day if I'm already reading a book. But for me right now, that feels restful because it's not something that I would do, that I get to do every single day. So that's that thing. The idea of having these frequent breaks also kind of tie into the day-to-day breaks, which I think are really important for parents who have the ability to stay at home. So I'm talking to the mamas right now, and dads stay home, but probably primarily the moms. Like, having the discipline and going through the hardship of establishing quiet time, because that is the way to have that regular break in the day. And it's something that I've struggled with being consistent with. And the times that I have been better at it, like say we've done quiet time for 2 weeks, then like it starts to get easy. And then I'll be thrown off for like 2 days because we'll be out of the house, or it'll be the weekend and it's really hard to do quiet time in the weekends because we're all together and things are just happening. And then we got to get back into like, okay, let's try quiet time and get them excited again. And so right now we've been in the slump where it's been hard to have quiet time. And so I haven't been having those day-to-day breaks, if you will. For context, we have children who are very young who don't take naps during the day. I think that's very important to say, because if our 4-year-old and our 2-year-old took naps, then that would be kind of quiet time, but we don't have that. So our kids haven't napped.
We got to see if we can get some of those on Prime Day or something.
Some naps?
Let's get some naps.
For real.
Yeah.
So yeah, our kids haven't napped since they were 3 and 1, like a regular day-to-day nap. And so it's taken me a year of struggle, I guess. Not struggle, but a year of like this tension of wanting to do quiet time and not knowing how to do it and not sticking with it and trying it and it being hard and like just not trying again for a few weeks, to be like, okay, like the pain of this is too much, like not trying to be disciplined in it. And it's been very fruitful with our 4-year-old because he likes it. he's like, yeah, okay, my quiet time. Sometimes he, complains a little bit about having to go do it, but once he's in it, he's like chilling. All to say that because I've been struggling to get back in the rhythm of having quiet time, just the other day, I was having a really hard time getting the kids to get into quiet time. And it was a day that you were already with us at that time. And I was having a little mental breakdown because I really wanted to just spend time with you because you were out and about. And I'm like, perfect, let's do a quiet time because I want to hang out with you.
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Was it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, I want to hang out with you. I just want to be able to chat with you. And our 2-year-old was doing what a 2-year-old does, which is just they want to be right with you. Like they want to be next to you. But this particular day, it wasn't as simple as having the 2-year-old be around me doing their own thing. It was more so on top of me. And I was just very much like, I can't. I really need quiet time to happen. I want to be able to talk to my husband. I want to be able to just like hang out with you. And so I was getting really frustrated. And
well, because we hadn't recorded a podcast, so we actually hadn't had a conversation.
We actually hadn't been able to talk.
Multiple days.
Yeah, so we ended up in the 2-year-old's room.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in there crying before you walked in already because I was like, great, we're going into quiet time. And then our 2-year-old looked at me and was like, do you want to play with me? And I was like, great, now I'm the worst mom ever because I'm about to say, no, it's quiet time. So then I didn't say that. And I said, yes, of course. So then I went into the room and I started playing, but I was crying while the 2-year-old's trying to play with me. And I'm like, I'm not even like there, like trying to play with our 2-year-old. And then the whole thing happened when we were outside. And I'm crying. And you're like, why don't you go be by yourself? And I was like, I don't want to be by myself. I'm trying to hang out with you. And it was just reminded me of the importance of continuing to try quiet time so that those frequent vacations of every day could go back to being more normal as they were a few weeks back. Mm-hmm. All to say,
well,
burning out and spiritual.
Yeah.
There's nothing spiritual
That's
about burning
not helpful.
Out. Not helpful. Yeah.
That's not helpful for anybody.
Continuing on and on and on. Not helpful. Mm-hmm. Take the break.
Let me say that I understand how you were feeling. I understand why you were having those reactions.
Yeah.
Way. And it's totally understandable.
Yeah, you were there. You saw it. Mm-hmm. And you're in it. It happens to you too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, important to remember that it's not always going to be a 2-week vacation or a 1-week vacation that's going to be the thing that you look towards to like fill you back up again.
Right.
That just seems like way too much pressure to put on that trip anyways, because like, what if it doesn't go as planned?
It's totally going to disappoint you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like putting it up on a pedestal. You don't know what the heck's going to happen. It may even be making an idol of
holidays,
free time,
of vacationing.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You might be able to even pull it back even further and say, when people say like living for the weekend, it's the same thing. Instead of looking forward to the one every 12-month thing, you're looking forward to every 7 days. And like you miss the 6 days and leading up to that. You miss life that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fathers and mothers, because Father's Day just happened, who say on like Father's Day or Mother's Day that they just want to not be around their family, not be around the kids. They want to go and play golf and go hang out with their buddies and take a break for Father's Day, or they want to go to a hotel and read a book and sleep and not be bothered for Mother's Day.
Yeah. I think it's ironic that you are trying to escape something that you are being celebrated for, first of all. Like we are celebrating motherhood by retrieving and escaping from motherhood. It doesn't really make sense. But number 2, I think under that is the lack of these day breaks, like these day-to-day restfulness. And so don't hear me say, well, I guess like someone could hear this and say, oh, well, your husband works from home, so you're able to have these daily breaks. But I know mamas who do a lot of solo parenting that are way better at having daily breaks than I am. And so it's not a matter of if you are parenting solo for most of the time or if you're parenting with your spouse and you're able to get that break in there. It's more so I think it's just the discipline of being able to incorporate those daily rhythms of rest and breaking apart your day in a way where you know, okay, by this certain time is kind of when things get a little bit heated. And so this is the time where we could all benefit from having separation from each other to kind of reset and regroup. So I think the whole coming up to a year where the dad's like, I'm leaving, I'm going to go golfing all day. Or the mom's like, I'm checking into a hotel and I'm going to sleep for 8 hours. And I'm not making food for anybody. I'm not answering any questions. I'm not, all the things that are on the to-do list. I think a lot of that comes from the lack of practicing daily rhythms of rest.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that's the symptom,
Yeah.
That's the thing that it's not the cure.
Right.
Yeah. Going to get that
like a
one
Band-Aid.
day. Yeah, it's not going to fix things.
Because guess what? You wake up tomorrow, you check out of the hotel, and you're back to making the meals. You're back to doing the laundry. You're back to doing, and then what? Then you're just like struggling through it until the next Mother's Day where you go check into another hotel. So there's got to be there's a very simple remedy for that, and it's actually in Scripture, and it's God saying, "Listen, I made the Sabbath for man, not man for Sabbath." So quiet time must be implemented again.
I think what we're saying is like take a 2-week vacation, take a 1-week vacation, but don't have that be the thing that you look forward to as like the thing that's going to be so rewarding, so refreshing, so going to make your life better, something that you need to do. I think if you're feeling like you need and you must take this break in order to be okay, then you need to look towards how you can take more frequent, restful breaks throughout your week. And that may look like practically having to hire a lawn maintenance guy or somebody to, help you out with something, or just like giving up some things that are taking too much of your time, focus, effort, energy from the things that are more important and most important. It's not bad to take a 2-week break,
right?
But it shouldn't be the thing that
you're looking forward to fill you up and like give you the rest that you need. I'm gonna read these 2 verses because when we were talking earlier about like being burnt out and all the things, I remembered when Jesus is saying to take my yoke because my burden's easy, my yoke is light, like that kind of stuff. So that's Matthew 11 when Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." And then also in Hebrews 4, it says, "There remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For anyone who enters God's rest also rests from their works, just as God did from his." And so that's ultimately to kind of bring like the spiritual framework into the conversation of taking these earthly breaks on a cycle, is that we have a rest for our souls. We have a rest for our souls through Christ because we don't have to continue working for a salvation. We already have that in Jesus. So ultimately, I guess to just kind of remember that our hope is firm, it's secure, we have rest for our souls, we're not continuing to wander around through for salvation. And so applying that into this a worldly perspective of, well, how we have this eternal rest, how do we have like an earthly rest? And I think that that's how we can kind of tie it into, well, God did establish this beautiful Sabbath rest that I personally don't know how I land on, how we're supposed to keep it, how often, all the things, but we do have that available to us. So
yeah. So in the prep for this episode, when we were talking, you had brought up that like on the 7th day, God didn't need to rest. It's not like he was tired from the work that he had done, like we could be,
right.
But it's more so that he ceased doing an activity. So he was creating all those things and then he stopped creating.
Yeah.
So he stopped his activity. What gets misconstrued, I think, a lot of the times is people think that they should do nothing at all on a Sabbath, which is what the religious people of the day believed. Like you can't even pick the grain of wheat off the stalk because that would be work. So you can't do anything at all, right? But rather than just not do anything at all, it's maybe more so stop doing a normal activity that you've been doing throughout your week. So do something else that fills you up. It could be even traditional work like building something or cutting the grass. But if that's something different that helps you to like reframe, refocus, help you feel better, help to refresh you, then that could be a valid
way
Sabbath
of resting.
Rest.
Yeah, way of resting. Yeah.
He talks about it in Habits of the Household, where he's saying that the author was a lawyer, so he is using his mind
right
all
Yeah.
long.
So for his
And
Sabbath,
so for his Sabbath, yeah, he enjoys like doing something with his hands.
yeah, which is like the opposite of what he does on his day to
The
day.
opposite of what he does.
Yeah.
He shakes it up.
Right.
One of the things that you do or don't do on the Sabbath is the dishes. Usually.
Usually.
I mean, you're in the.
I haven't been very good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things I don't do on the Sabbath is the laundry. Like the laundry goes every single day, Sunday through Friday, but on Saturday I just don't touch it. Or like if I do it on Friday, like I try not to do it on Friday so I don't have to worry about it on Saturday. If I do put a load in there on Friday, then I still won't touch it on Saturday. So, and we get to do that because we have the combo dryers, so it will be dry. It's not like I'm leaving wet clothes or anything. But yeah, if I happen to put it in on Friday night, I just won't touch it until Sunday, and that's something that I just won't do on the. It feels restful to not have to think about the mental list of having to do laundry and put it away, even though it's fairly simple now. But it's just something that I don't need to do because I think there have been times where I will do a very, very simple, ordinary task that I do Sunday through Friday. And then in the middle of me doing that, I'll get this like convicting thought of, you don't trust me enough to leave that until Sunday. I'll have a thought like that where it's like, you don't even trust me enough that like you'll have more dishes. You don't even trust me enough that your clothes will still be there on Sunday. Like, why are you touching them? Kind of thing. So yeah, there's moments like that remind me to stop doing some of the very simple tasks that I'm like, well, but this is like fun and restful right now. But at the end of but deeper than that, it's like, well, I'm trying to get ahead of the week. And I think when that's my motive, then that's where I'm probably not taking like, Jesus at his word.
Yeah.
When he's like, like my yoke is easy, my burden is light, and right now you're burdening yourself for something that you're trying to prepare ahead of time when today has enough worries of its own. So don't think about the one for tomorrow. Like, take the rest right now, where I'm offering it to you,
especially today.
Yeah.
And isn't it like a red flag, or shouldn't it be like a red flag to us that like it's hard to stop even for a day, like doing those things?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's a sign that like you got to.
That you have to, yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's a little bit like fasting.
Yeah,
it's like while you're fasting, it's supposed to help to point you to God. While we're taking the Sabbath, well, it's hard for us to put the everyday tasks and to-do lists out of our head. We should be looking to God.
Yeah, and to your point earlier when you were talking about like on the Sabbath doing something that is like not your ordinary thing that you're doing, I'm thinking of just the verse in itself where it says, remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. And to keep something holy, it would mean that it would have to be set apart. So something totally different. So I just wanted to say, like, just take the words of scripture themselves and itself.
It tells you plainly.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, well, if I'm going to keep it holy, that means that what I'm doing, it's not that I'm just ceasing from doing anything at all. It's that I'm going to do something now that is going to be holy and set apart, which means I'm going to do it unto the Lord.
You got to look at the heart behind why you are trying to take these vacations and these breaks.
Yeah.
If the heart is like, I need it to survive, and it's like you're looking for that longer break to help do that for you, I think you got to look at, maybe that's a sign that you got to take some more frequent, shorter rests.
Yeah. And if there is something super deep within your soul where you are literally living for the weekend or living for the year vacation, then you have to know that you have this eternal rest when you recognize that Jesus is Lord and that there is a God who is offering this to you. And so if you don't have that yet, then let this be the opportunity where you cry out the name of Jesus and you accept that eternal rest for your soul.
Amen.
So, yeah.
All right.
Take those shorter breaks more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's end it here. Eat some more brownies.
They're
ice
done.
Cream. We got ice cream?
Oh, we have ice cream. We'll talk about that next week.